Hello everyone, and welcome back to UKSG Spring 2021 Benefiting Crisis. Here we are with LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga Free-Play RTA, done here by Laser Trap. So how about you take it away?
Alright, so hi everyone, my name's Lasertrap, and we're running the DS version today. I want to clear something up very quickly actually. I'm playing on a real DS, but I'm looking on the screen. I know last summer when I ran for ESA, people were like, oh, I bet he's playing on emulator, but no, I'm playing on a real DS, just looking at my monitor. I've got two commentators with me today, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Alright, yeah, I am Lord Magecar. I'm a glitch hunter for this game. I found a lot of the skips that you're going to see in this run today.
Hello, I'm Shemcat. I've been running this game for about 2 years, and I'm currently second place in Free Play RTA, which is the category you're about to watch.
Alright, so in free play we can pick any character we want. That's one of the fun parts about it. And for the most part I'm picking Yoda as a ghost in this case. So I'm going to give the countdown, and then Magecar, do you want to go ahead with Yoda movement and why it's important?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so hopefully we're ready on the timer. And it'll be about 3 seconds after I skip this intro crawl. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Alright, so right off the bat, you're going to see that he's using Yoda for movement. So what he's doing is, Yoda's lightsaber swings are really fast, but there's like a delay after the third one, so he's using a jump to cancel that. And that's just how we're going to be moving around for the majority of levels. And so coming up right here, we have the first glitch in the run. This is a Yoda clip. Basically, if you end your second swing at a certain angle and then start your third swing at a certain angle, it depends on the way you're trying to clip through, but you can clip through most objects. And that's just going to be our go-to glitch that you're going to see many times in this run.
Alright, this one's a bit harder. Alright, we're through. And I'm going over the fence here using a triple jump because basically the attack patterns give you a bit of extra height, but they don't count as one of your jumps, and all Jedi characters can double jump. So a triple jump is basically, in this case, double jumping out of an attack with Yoda. So that's the first level done, and we're moving on to the second stage here. We can actually play the levels in any order we want, but I'm going in chronological order for, I guess, an easier viewing experience. That said, there aren't actually too many skips in the level. I'm actually using the grapple pads as intended here because there's way too much height to gain with Yoda. So in this level, I'm wondering if we can take some time to talk about free play as a category. So Shem, if you'd like to say a few things.
Yes, so Free Play, as I'm sure most of you have played a LEGO game, after you beat it in story mode, we can replay it again, any characters, any extras we want, which in the free play mode. So this is just beating 22 of the 30 levels in this free play mode. But why not all 30? Well, 8 of these are spaceship levels, where we're just top down in a spaceship shooting through things. Those are always set to story mode, so we just skip them for this category, which is probably a good thing. They aren't as interesting, I would say, as these levels right here.
Yeah, exactly. But it's actually my favorite speedrun category of all time in any game, and I'm hoping to be able to show off why that is. This level is probably the only one that I could consider a free level. Like, it's really easy going. It's only got one clip, and it's quite straightforward. Just moving along to the end of this room here. As Shem said, we're not actually playing all of the levels today, and I'll be skipping level 3 in episode 1 after this. There's 5 levels per episode. This is, of course, the formerly complete saga, as we now have 3 more episodes, but this game came out in 2007. Right, on to 1-4. Again, not too much to say in the beginning, but we will be seeing some much harder clips because they're at awkward angles. So maybe you can touch on that a little bit, Magecar.
Yeah, sure. So, these clips, like this one right here, are fairly straightforward. You've done a lot of them, so it's like very easy muscle memory and stuff. But as we're gonna see in the next room, we have a door that's like at an angle. So it just requires different inputs to go through this one, but we still get a first try. But then in this room, we have the hardest clip in the run by far. So what matters with Yoda clips is that you need to be, you need to land from your second swing with like some velocity. And so with this door here, the frame of this door will like push you away from it, and so you have to like have your second swing like start. Oh wow, still first try, very nice.
That's
But
really
you have to like
surprising.
quickly like change what direction you're moving your second swing so that you moving in the correct direction, but you don't get pushed out from the door.
Yeah, it's angles and narrow door frames that really make door clips difficult. Even then, they're tough to get used to because it's a tricky series of inputs. At the end of it, yes, you do have 10 frames to input the actual clip, but getting the inputs before that right is in many ways a lot trickier. Just at the end of this room, we are freeing the royal guards. I remember this happening exactly like this in the films, but basically just kill the battle droids, and I'll just set a target for myself now to say basically less during the run. We can't clip through this door, and plus what happens anyway is that the level doesn't end until you activate it using the R2 panel. So now we're going on to a boss level, and there's a new strategy that wasn't shown off last time I ran this in a marathon at the beginning of Mole. So can you take us through this, Shem?
Yes, so this is Fast Mall 1 with the detonators, which are the main things we use against bosses in this game. If we hit him with them, like with the explosion of it, we can do like 2 lots of damage to him. It doesn't show him on like the hearts that he has, but they're like stored bits of damage. Usually we'd have to knock back 3 of those canisters, but with this tech we only need to do it once. So it's a nice like fight strategy.
Yeah, it's quite funny how they bounce off the floor as well, or the pit. But that's just how it works. I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, if you have to look out very carefully to make sure he flashes red so that you know he takes a hit. And if you do too many, when you hit the last canister back, the game will crash. Right here, by the way, is a quad jump. Got that one first try, which is 2 attacks and then a double jump, only useful for distance rather than height. And right here we have 4 successive clips. I call this room the room of pointlessness, and we got all clips first try. Very nice. Right, the fun part, well, definitely the easiest part about this run is lightsaber bosses, which anyone who runs story mode in this game, we know these bosses are no joke.
Yeah.
Because you can't cheese them like you can on PC and console. They're very different builds. There's nothing much to say really in free play other than you can just throw detonators at them over and over again. This boss is broken up with more returning canisters using the Force, but other than that, we should probably start talking about the next level now. So, if by any chance you may have seen my run at ESA Winter in 2019, there was a big jump called It's Raining Men, and now we have a slightly different set of jumps called Cry Me a River, because it makes you cry, and it was found by a runner named River. But I'm going to be picking a custom character in this. Do you want to talk us through this again, Sham?
Okay, so firstly, custom character. As you, I'm sure you'll be able to see here, they are insanely powerful from the ability to just jump forever, because when you combine double jumping with like shooting, the game just doesn't understand what's going on, and it lets us just jump infinitely, since it just expects us to have a double jump, even though
That might be too
we've
far.
already jumped way more than once. And then so all or some loading zones are stored like in the same map basically, so we can like jump from there into one of the last rooms. So from the first room to one of the last rooms, just by jumping and falling into the loading zone correctly. So yeah, we can skip massive portions of some levels.
Nice. Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And basically what happens at the end is that you... when you improperly load a room, you can see the graphics and all of that, but the platforms there had no collision. So there's meant to be a boss at the end of that level, Django, but when you activate his health, he falls through the floor because there is no collision and dies, and when he dies, that ends the level.
Yeah, and unfortunately, bosses dying only ends the level when it's a blaster boss. So if we wanted to like kill, let's say, Darth Maul early, we would just soft lock the level and end.
Yeah. So, Droid Factory. We've got some gaps here. This is an interesting point to mention, that I always have a second character following me controlled by an AI, essentially. And they can be a bit of a pain in this level. Okay, he took his time. But yeah, there are plenty of gimmicks. All LEGO games have it, where even if you're not playing in multiplayer, there is a second character. And a lot of the mechanics revolve around needing both yourself and the second character to do something. These clips are going really well so far, by the way. In story mode in particular in this level, because one difference between DS and the PC and console build is that even in story mode you can only have 2 characters out at once. The manipulation for what characters your partner is playing as, it's a little bit different and actually a lot trickier. So clip through that door as it's opening to save a couple seconds. And then rather than taking the force to take out all of them, I can throw a detonator at those chains or whatever, and just for fun kill Obi-Wan using the force at the end.
Most important part of the run right there.
It is, it is. Right, Jedi Battle. Easily the snooze fest point of the run, but even then, I mean, it's still not free, it's very tricky, you have to know exactly when to place yourself when. It's a big gauntlet, essentially. What you're seeing there, actually, is I'm changing characters as I'm pulling those switches. Just to cancel the animation and move off of them quicker. On this one I don't want to do that because I want my partners to pull the other one so I can get myself into position for these next enemies quicker.
Yeah, if you like cancel the pull, the AI partner will just act as if you didn't pull it, so we gotta make sure to pull it down in full.
Yeah. Only other really notable thing to say is that I'm going to be switching to the Bounty Hunter character a lot in this level to use detonators to destroy enemies quickly. Other than that, this is going to be the best point in the run if you have anything to read, Pika.
Absolutely. I would like to remind actually that the upcoming run with Cuphead specifically, there is a bid war going on for it. With the character bid war for either Cuphead or Mugman. And currently we're sitting at $92 for Mugman and $50 for Cuphead. So whether you're Team Mug or Team Cup, now you still have just a bit of time left to choose through your donations, but time is running out. So definitely get those donations in. It's all going towards a great cause with Crisis. And yeah, keep enjoying the run, everyone.
Alright, thank you very much. Good timing, actually, because this is an interesting point where you throw a detonator and I guess somehow kill that droideka back there, but he's visually still there, but he can't actually interact with you at all. Something we haven't actually mentioned yet, though, is the benefits of Ghost Yoda, and it's more noticeable in this level because I'm going to be picking, well, the Bounty Hunter a lot. I'll be using the Bounty Hunter in this level as well as Ghost Yoda, so maybe you can take us through that small difference there, Michiko.
Yeah. So Ghost Yoda. There are a few small differences between him and Yoda. So Ghost Yoda is invincible without invincibility, but we have invincibility, so that doesn't really matter. But enemies don't notice Ghost Yoda, which can save a small amount of time. But the most important reason that we choose Ghost Yoda is because when we're like selecting a character, Ghost Yoda is on the same page as our custom character, so we don't have to like waste time like switching to another page when we're selecting a character.
Yeah, because we could actually select Jar Jar Binks, believe it or not, because Jar Jar is the only non-custom character in the game that has the ability to both double jump and use specifically a blaster gun. But it just so happens that Ghost Yoda's on the same page as custom character, and it works out very nicely with the extra perks of using Ghost Yoda that enemies don't target him. Alright. So, episode 2 is like one of my least favorite episodes in the run. There isn't too much interesting to say here, but after this point, it will get much more interesting. A lot of the cooler tricks are coming up. The main thing to say about this level, I mean, it's just a short pathway to a boss, cut even shorter by an upcoming door clip, which we'll see in just a second, but maybe we can talk a bit about Dooku locks. So if you'd like to do that, Shem.
Yes, so the way Dooku gets damaged, as you can see here, he falls on the floor and then jumps back up again. Before attacking immediately, there's a 2-frame window where we can just hit him before he like gets any invincibility or anything, and before he moves at all. Which is primarily useful in story mode. However, in free play, it's still fairly useful as well. And also, we skip having to launch back these canisters or lightning bolts back at him by just the power of detonators. They're so broken in this game for all manners of combat. It's really useful.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned yet that extras are allowed in this category, but it's free play, it's New Game Plus. Technically, the debug menu is also allowed, so you don't have to like prepare a file if you don't want to. But there are no other uses for the debug file, so I have a prepared file, and I don't use the debug menu in this. Debug menu is not allowed in New Game categories, though. This level right here is actually quite unique because it's the one level where... Oh, that was a really bad shot. It's the one level where we pick custom character and we don't do some massive skip to an extra room. It's just the whole level is the boss here. So it helps for speeding up phases like that. And I'm also proud of myself for picking the right character this time, which I did not do at ESA Winter 2 years ago. Oh. I shouldn't talk while infinite jumping. Infinite jumping isn't hard to do, but whenever I talk, it gets messed up for me. And this level's done. Quick as that. Moving on to the next level, though. We have Kashyyyk, don't we? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my personal favorite level. This is a really nice just showcase of this game, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's got lots of nice movement, nice tricks.
So take us through it.
Okay, so starting off, we don't use the bridges. So we normally have to like do some force like puzzle or step on some buttons to lower the bridge and walk along it. However, by just using a triple jump, we can make our way around like the bridge and just stand over because the collision's always loaded there. And this is one of the few levels where we get Yoda in story mode as well, meaning it's applicable in literally every category.
Yeah, aside from one cutscene in the middle, this level is exactly the same in story and free play. And it's the only one, really. There's one small difference, and it's going to be coming up in the next room. I'll come on to that in just a second. So this is the beach. Because there go the bombs. Going but it's got a really, really tricky trick, and that was not... I tried to do the trick from the wrong place. Okay, can you just talk about why this is so tricky, Mage Car? What I did there?
Yeah, so that doesn't look like a hard jump, but there's a bunch of invisible walls that make it so that you can't go like too high. So you have to like quad jump to get like the distance, but still like remain like under the invisible walls. Yeah, and then you just double jump over the gate. You can't flip to the bottom of it.
Bit sloppy this level, but it's okay. This is probably one of the hardest levels in the run, that at least one for not revolving around a single trick, because even this door clip here is quite difficult.
Yeah, it's deceptively difficult, like a kind of awkward angle, like surprisingly awkward and pretty thin as well. So it can certainly be a bit of a time waster.
Gonna grab a drink. So next we're moving on to the hardest jump in the run. There's not too much to... Well, actually, no. There is a lot to say about it. It's not going to come up immediately, and I do it in record attempts, but in cases where you don't get Yoda in your party, more on that later, this trick only saves like 5-7 seconds at most. And it's really, really difficult, because one fail is, what, 20-25 seconds lost? So I'm going to be
like
quiet for this. I don't mind if you want to just add things about the jump, Mage Car.
Yeah, this jump is very difficult. There aren't really many good visual cues to use, and the loading zone that we want to land in is deceptively small. So let's see if he gets it here.
Oh, no way.
Oh, nice.
Alright, very nice. Yeah, the loading zone is quite small and easy to miss, and then you have a huge time loss if you do miss it.
Yeah, no, I'm shocked. So what I did mention is that we didn't have Yoda in our party there. There is some randomness when it comes to the characters that you get in your party. Obviously you can choose one character, but then the game has to autofill the rest of your party with characters that fit to certain abilities, because each character will have like their own unique ability. So we can talk about that in just a second. I just want to talk about the pillar clip in this room. At the end of this room, this is a well, it's not even that new anymore, is it? It's new since the ESA winter run, I believe, where you can just stand on one spot and slide on the pillar and it pushes you through the door. But anyway, not much to the end of the level, just a lava section in the fight. So Shem, can you just talk to us about the character RNG again?
I can. So in reality, there's only really 2 characters that matter if we trying to go for RNG. So in the levels where we pick Yoda, in like 1 or 2 levels, it can be impactful to get Jar Jar, but yeah, he's not that important anymore. However, more importantly, in the levels like Crimea River, or the last one we were in, 3-4, there's a 1 in 7 chance with the optimal like setup of getting either Yoda or Ghost Yoda, which can speed it up like by a fairly significant amount.
Yeah, particularly in the next level. So we'll see what happens here. The last infinite jump I did, by the way, I should give credit. It's called Order 368 because it was found by a runner named Nuxmaster368. This one is called Van Halen jump because just sticking with the name of song theme jumps. But I found this one, and I was quite sad when people ruined it with this horrible, horrible trick right here. I don't know if you can tell us a few things about it, Mage Car.
Yeah, so detonator flips are quite difficult and very RNG dependent. So there are a few different types of ways to flip with the detonator. Right there is a vertical detonator flip. You can flip through the ceiling. And so then he can just moon jump past there and get to the final room of the level. And then here we have another detonator clip because we don't have Yoda, because we chose custom character.
Okay.
So, oh wow, that was quite fast. But yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
was pretty
also
fast.
very RNG. You just hope that the detonator pushes you through, pretty much. There's some technique to it, but
There is a method where you can stand on the detonator and hope it slides you through, but that is basically completely luck dependent, right? Based on how it
Yeah.
lands.
yeah, that method of detonator clipping is the same thing as like the filler clip in 3.5, but we create the object to stand on.
Exactly. So, well, this level's called the Jundland Waste. I used to joke about it being a big Jundland waste of my time, because I was not a fan of this level when door clips were found. We should absolutely mention that the whole reason this run is possible and as broken as it is, for the most part, is credit of Lord Magecar and commentary with us. So thank you very much for finding door clips. This is the Sandcrawler. First instance of a character swap to gain height there, similarly to how I'm swapping to cancel the animations there, but it will give you a little bit of extra height for situations like that. I don't like the Chow death sound, I didn't mean to do that. Right. These door clips are very difficult. Most of them are all at quite awkward angles, such that I don't usually go for that one there in record attempts. But they've gone very well so far. Okay, that's the one that's usually the problem. Second try is still really, really good.
Yeah, that's a good sandcrawler, definitely.
Triple jump over the gap there. I didn't trust that. One thing I will mention is that with Yoda's attack patterns, I sort of developed my own normalized movement for how many attacks is actually optimal and where. Like sometimes it's optimal to jump out of an attack cycle before the third one, just based on how much room you have to make a jump or do a clip. Because when you're doing a clip, the first swing doesn't really matter where you land. And here to end the level, it is faster to do a clip, but I want to show off that a glitch hunter named Jinjairu found that shield doesn't exist and you can just pull that switch through the glass. And now we're on to the spaceport. You know, actually, at the moment, this is another good opportunity if you have something to read, Pika.
Alright, awesome. I would like to remind everyone that UKSG Spring 2021 is benefiting Crisis, which fights homelessness, and one of the actions they do to do so is to offer one-to-one support, advice and courses for homeless people in 12 areas across England, Scotland and Wales. So it's amazing so far that we've reached more than 1.5k dollars in total just in this marathon. And I'm thinking we probably can reach 1.6k soon, so that'd be amazing if we could. But in any case, congrats everyone for reaching that far so far, and let's see how far we can go during the rest of the marathon.
Alright, and I'm going to be chipping in $2 per death in this run. There's one there, actually. But we finished the level dead. So with that one, and oops, going the wrong way. There's three main levels where we take intentional deaths. So we'll be getting at least 8 in this run. If you want to donate along with me, please do. Right, this level is an interesting one because we start off with a ceiling clip. Okay,
That's fast.
that was fast. It's actually, you said it's frame perfect, didn't you?
Yeah, so with that trick, you basically just hold against the wall at a certain way, and you have to input a frame perfect double jump to actually get the clip. You can't Yoda clip through that door.
And there was some sorcery that you can jump up to. For whatever reason, there's an invisible ledge, and then you can just go into a loading zone and skip rescuing the princess, the trash compactor, all of that. And so that trick is called Princessless. There's an argument for using custom character against Yoda here because it's slightly faster in this section. But what I can do is do a maximum height triple jump character swap off of that to get up to that ledge quickly. I thought it would be cool to show off Yoda even though I usually pick custom character in this level. And so now we're just freeing the Falcon because that's exactly where I remember it being in the film. These buttons are the worst part. Hey, I failed buttons.
Oh.
But yeah, Yoda and custom character are both very viable for this level. I think Yoda's a few seconds faster if you don't get good RNG, but custom character has a much better chance. You have a 1 in 7 chance of getting Yoda if you choose custom character, while if you have like a 1 in 36 chance of getting Jar Jar, you can choose Yoda. So both of them are perfectly viable.
Yeah. I've kind of been flying this run, haven't I? I just realized we only have 6 levels left.
Yeah, this is a pretty good run so far.
I don't have the timer up, but I imagine we're making pretty good pace. 5-2. There's a recent discovery. We can't usually clip through the ice barriers in this level. So the first example here is we have to push this block so it heats up the ice. I guess it's a movable heater. But in the next room, just earlier this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, take us through this, Mage Car.
Yeah, so this is gonna look like a door clip, but we can't actually go through it normally. So what he did there, there's actually a really small gap between the door and the wall next to it. So with very precise movement, you can get out of bounds and then quickly navigate to the loading zone.
Yeah, and there's a big chance of going too far and clipping into the loading zone on the other side and getting put back in the same room. Which is actually the same reason I couldn't clip through the door I did the ceiling clip with in the beginning of the previous level. Right here, just more quad jumps going around the icicles. Or, if you're Christerius, shoutouts to Christerius for helping with the commentary on the run I did 2 years ago for ESA Winter. Those are some pretty stalactite jumps.
Haha.
And right here at the end of the level, that clip's quite difficult. I just have to clip in here to use the C-3PO panel. That was actually really good luck with the AI partner, because...
Yeah, he got there super fast.
Yeah, I mean, usually you have to do a downwards clip, which it's the only case in the runway you would have to do one to clip back out of there. So I'm pretty pleased with how that went. This is the training stage, where seagulls are very much lamented. I'm wearing my Seagulls Stop It Now t-shirt. Especially for this run. I won't sing for you today, I'm actually quite ill, but... maybe some other time we can have an incentive.
Yeah, this is just a really nice level to show off the movement with Yoda. It's like lots of tight movement, lots of tight jumps. Like this one, for example.
I probably didn't need that character swap, did I? It's always hard to tell, but...
Yeah.
That's yeah, close.
Yeah, you can talk about the extra length maybe a bit, Magecar.
Yeah, sure. So, as we mentioned, if you character swap once, you get a little bit of a height boost. There's a cooldown on that though, so you can't just repeatedly character swap to gain infinite height. So yeah, he wasn't sure if he was gonna make that jump, so he character swapped for that slight extra height boost, which may or may not have mattered.
Yeah, and I'm using the bushes on that jump just for a bit of extra height for safety. You don't need it, but it is a quad jump, and if you lose too much height, actually it's not very generous. If you lose some height, then you will just get killed. And hopefully we'll be getting a door clip to completely bypass the Vader fight, the Dream Vader fight, I should say. But speaking of Vader fights, they're all going to be missing from this next level entirely. Like, we won't even see any of them. But unfortunately, first of all, we have a return from our pal, the Detonator Clips. Even if you pick Yoda in this level, for some reason, these doors are not possible to clip through with Yoda. they're just a little bit too thick in collision. So I have to resort to detonator clips. And I'm character swapping before the first one lands because for some reason they don't have collision before that. This could take a little while to get the right luck.
Yeah, optimally you'd use 2 detonator clips in this level to clip through the last door as well.
Jeez.
But there are about 4 different ways to beat it, and they're all practically the same speed, so runners just do whatever's easiest for them.
Terrible luck with the angles that they're landing on. Oh, that might have been it.
Yeah, this is kind of brutal.
I wasn't sure if this was even on sub 40 pace, but I don't think it will be anymore. Okay, finally.
Oh, nice.
So that lost, what, 40 seconds or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines.
That's why Laser Choke doesn't go for the detonator clip at the end of this level.
Yeah. I instead go for a jump. I think I'm the only runner that does this one in particular, because there are many different points to go out of bounds. Oh. I won't actually talk here, but just mention the different ways to end the level. If you can, Sham.
Oh, so there is you can obviously do this way, which is just jump into the loading zone from far away. There's the 2 door clips, with 2 deck clips rather. Then you can, in like a later room, you can either unload the door, so we just bypass it.
I'm gonna go for a trick here, actually.
Or we can just jump over, like, in the same room, we can just jump into the loading zone from there, which is what I personally like to go for.
Oh.
Oh, so
yeah.
close.
I'll just go to the room normally. That's not a trick I usually put into runs. Actually, it's not something I have the chance to do in the level order I do, because we can choose any level order we want in this run. But for this particular showcase, I'm going in chronological order. Yeah, so can you talk to us about Harmless List now, Magecar?
Yeah, so this is Harmless List. It's infinite jump that we used to skip to the 3rd to last room from the 1st room, I think. So the reason why it's called Harmless List was because a while ago we used to have to do this level basically normally with Yoda, but then I found Harmless, which was an jump where we go into the 2nd room and then go to the 3rd to last room. But
oh, I missed.
I don't remember who. Oh.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, but someone found a way to get it from the 1st room.
It might have been IG 2001.
Okay.
As in Blada on the leaderboards.
But yeah, this will be the last time we see the custom character for this run. And it's definitely, I'd say it's probably the hardest in some ways. Partially because I do this last, so I will be dealing with a lot of nerfs at this point in the run, but yeah.
I deal with
None
it
of them
very
are
early
easy.
on. Alright, there we go. I don't
Okay,
usually
second try's
fail
good.
that one, at least not at that point, but yeah. And I do a little clip there, land on that switch, and then just through the wall. So at this point, unfortunately, the dream of getting a sub 40 in the marathon, it's almost certainly dead. I can't see the time, but still, this has been a very solid showcase.
Yeah.
And now we're just coming up on my favorite stage in the game, actually. I mean, it's got to be one of the coolest levels in the run, and it's about what free play is all about. It's got a very unique trick coming up. To begin with, we have, you know, cool Yoda movement, crossing gaps. They're actually relatively tight triple jumps, but coming up we have one of the coolest, most unique tricks in the run. If you can talk us through that, Sham.
Yes, so out of all the extras you can use, self-destruct seems like one that would be pretty useless. However, if we use it and character swap on the exact same frame, we can store the death invincibility through the kill plane on that level. Like normally we'd have to push a block and it's really slow to make some elevator rise, but we can just skip that here by just passing through and going straight into the loading zone by doing a frame perfect character swap.
Yeah, compared to the other frame perfect tricks this game has to offer, that's very tame because it's just pressing 2 buttons at the same time. We could probably mention story mode a bit more. Story mode is a very interesting way to run this game because of the cutscenes, and you can skip a lot of them. Well, you can skip all of them, I think, except the intro cutscenes of the level, using a frame perfect pause, or usually frame perfect, and that was also found by MageCar, so he's shaped the free play run and the any percent run. It's a pain to run, but in story mode, but we're very happy that he's found it anyway. So moving on to the last level, it's really stupid, and you should never do this level anywhere that isn't first in the run. Cough, cough, every single other runner on the leaderboards. I do want to give a shout out to every single runner on the free play leaderboards, so there are 6 of them only, but all of them have been technically a former record holder, and 5 out of 6 have been running within the last year, I think, or maybe half year even. And all 5 of them, I would say, have close to, if not world record potential, even though I'm a minute ahead of second place. I just think that's really cool, and it says a lot about how cool this category is once you pick it up. Aha!
Yeah.
I wondered if this would happen. So,
Wow.
maybe you can tell us a bit about this mage car. This lovely level.
Yeah, so
Uh-oh.
this level can go
Oh,
wrong
no.
in many ways. This fight, he can skip like some cycles by attacking them as soon as possible. What happens is the Senate will use Force Lightning on you, and
The
then you have to
Senate?
swap to your partner.
Did you just call him the Senate? I am the Senate.
Yes, so he'll use Force Lightning on you, and then you have to swap to your partner to attack him. But if you attack him as soon as possible, then you don't have to swap to your partner. But the AI can be very uncooperative, as you saw there.
Alright, he was cooperative there. He didn't... Oh, where are you going? Oh, I missed this one too.
Oh.
Why are you... I can't actually swap. That looks close enough, but it's not letting me swap.
Yeah, this level is can be kind of unfair if you mess it up just one too many times.
Or if you don't mess up.
Yeah, even if you don't mess up, it can still be unfair.
Yeah, if you don't mess up, sometimes that's how it is. This is the last level of the run, so get ready for time. Got a couple more hits here.
Yeah, you can't skip these like last 3 phases, unfortunately, but every other phase, I believe you can skip.
Yeah. So when the level fades out to black, and then to the level complete screen, that's time. I will call it in just a second. And time.
GG.
Alright. There were some mishaps in the second half for sure. I'm surprised at how solidly the prequels went. That's my least favorite part, or that's my least favorite half.
Yeah, but everything in this game's hard, so it's fair enough that some mistakes were made.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my favorite speedrun category, and it's also the hardest one I've come close to mastering, I would say. But yeah, if I can just give quick shoutouts, so everyone on the leaderboard, that's myself, Shemcat in second, there's Nuxmaster368, who was like my original main challenger for the world record in this category. There's also Squeezy Pop and IG, or Bleeda. And then Zulus for doing the original free play run, technically a former record. And then obviously MageCar, not an RTA runner, but found so many of these important tricks, and thank you so much. But yeah, I'm gonna guess that was like a 42-minute time. Do we have final time?
That was 41:48.
41. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think that's...
Nice.
Is that Nuxmaster's
Yeah,
PB? I think that might be.
I can go check. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up, but thanks so much, UKSG. I had a blast doing my first run for you. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back another time.
That was Nux's BB.
Indeed, thank you so much, Lasertrap, for running, as well as to Magekar and Chemcat for commentating. Right up next, after a short intermission, we'll be moving on to Cuphead No Major Glitches by Kev360, so get ready for that. And remember, while we're still in intermission, you probably still have just a couple minutes to snipe the choice of whether your team